a potato sandwich right now, to be honest with you. Guys, I bumped into a pal of mine a couple of years ago. I hadn't actually seen her in donkeys. She had emigrated, in the couple of years since we'd left college. And it was Stillorgan of all places. It was a Saturday morning. She was with her mum, and I was with my kids. And so we spent a little bit of time catching up. And what I learned was that Sheila was home just to spend a little bit of time with her mum. And they were down in Stillorgan that morning because they were going to the hairdressers. And so I kind of started working out what was really going on. You see, Sheila's mum was wearing a headscarf. And I think we all know that in a certain context, that's like a badge of courage for the female chemotherapy patient. They asked me where I was working. They thought I was still back in Diageo, believe it or not. They asked me where I was working. And when I told them I was with VHI, something happened that I really hadn't expected. Sheila's mum actually wrapped her arms around me and she hugged me then and there in the street. And she said something to me which I think I will never forget until the day I die. She said, "You saved my life." I think I know a big brand promise when I see one, and I don't think I've seen one quite like that. Turned out that Sheila's mum was actually sick, and look, the truth of it was that she wouldn't be able to afford the treatment path that had been scoped out for her without her VHI plan. And you see, the thing, guys, is that when our customers actually come to claim, that's kind of how they feel about us. They become actually evangelists. They see us as lifesavers. Another customer once said to me that when serious illness struck their family, they got everybody together the way that you do to work out how the hell are we going to get through this. And then somebody remembered there was a VHI plan on the go. And what he said was, it was like there was another brother or sister they'd forgotten about. Somebody who just walked into the room and said, "It's okay, guys, I got this, don't worry about it." The thing is that we're so proud of that. And I was so proud that morning when Sheila's mum hugged me in the street. And the thing is, we want more of that. We want to pay for more care for our customers, for our members. We want to pay for life-saving care and life-enhancing care. But we can't do that if we're only insuring the people who claimed last year, claimed again this year, and are probably going to claim next year again. That doesn't make sense. What we actually need in a company like ours is a mix of customers. In addition to those evangelists, we need a big bunch of customers who probably won't actually claim this year, but they're happy to pay into the fund in the knowledge that there's money in the kitty for anybody who does need to claim, and also, of course, in the knowledge that there'll be money in the kitty for them when their turn comes around. So in order to get that mix straight, we needed to find a new way of engaging with just a broader range of people, not just by helping out people when they're really, really sick. We had to find ways to engage with our customers every day in different ways, in ways that added value to their life. And I suppose what I'm really saying when I'm talking about a broader range of customers is not just people like Sheila's mum, but maybe people who are younger than that, considerably younger than that. The thing is that health insurance can be pretty damn intangible when you're young. When you're in your 20s or 30s, you're really not thinking that serious ill health might be just around the corner. It's an unfortunate fact that 18% of blood cancers actually occur in people aged between 15 to 29. But if you tell anybody who's 15 to 29 that fact, they won't think you're talking about them. What is really tangible for those younger people is that health insurance is a big ticket item. So I'm not sure if I should say expect or demand two things. The first thing is that if they do need care, they expect it to be the best that money can buy. And the second thing is they expect it to be affordable. And the great news is that the best care that money can buy is getting better literally by the day. And the challenge is it costs. So if you think about it, that was a hard conversation for us to be having with our customers, particularly younger people, particularly, thank God that's not me, particularly younger people, particularly non-claimants, particularly during an economic meltdown. And if you think about it, those were the very cohort of people who felt that they were being hosed during the economic meltdown. And to make that conversation even more awkward, health insurance isn't like other markets. Health insurance in Ireland operates on the basis of community rating. What that means is we all pay the same for the same level of cover, regardless of who we are, regardless of whether we're likely to make a claim. Whether you're young or you're old, you pay the same. Whether you're a man or a woman, you pay the same. Whether you're in the whole of your health or whether you have a chronic illness, you pay the same for your health insurance. My personal view is that's absolutely bloody brilliant, because what it actually stops is it stops your insurance company loading your premium when you get old or when you get sick. In other words, just when you need your cover the most. But the commercial implications of community rating are just so tough if you think about it. Imagine a world where by law, a retailer had to charge the same price for a trolley full of groceries regardless of what the customer needed in their trolley of groceries. Imagine a world where a taxi firm by law had to charge the same price for a journey regardless of the length or the duration of the journey. Imagine a world where by law a utility company had to charge the same price for your electricity or gas regardless of how much electricity or gas you used. That's what community rating is kind of like. What those companies will all have to do is they'd have to charge their average price. And the thing is that those customers who actually use less than the average, they'd just sling their hook, they'd go. And what would then happen is the average price would go up. Community rating is really cool, but it creates a huge pinch point for us in VHI healthcare for one actually very simple reason. We're having a big birthday next year. We're going to be 60. We were established in 1957. We still have customers on our book who joined us in year one. They and their generation have stuck with us down through the years, and they've done that actually because we've done right by them down through the years, and they've done right by us because they've kept on paying into the fund. It's a fair deal both ways. These are people like my dad. He's 93 now. I'm guessing people like many of your mums and dads, and in fact, looking at the demographic of the audience, probably your grannies and granddads as well. We actually have a 94% share of the over 80-year-olds. I know, share my pain. No, the thing is that just puts enormous pressure on our average price, if you think about it, for obvious reasons. So pulling all of that together, we were under real pressure. We had that fantastic big brand promise, but we knew that we needed more than that. We needed a wow factor for a broader range of customer types. We started with product design. We originally had, about 10 years ago, we had 5 products. We knew that wasn't the right way to go. We needed to offer far more choice for a far broader range of different kinds of customers. We passionately believe in selling health insurance based on your healthcare needs at different stages in life. And so we broadened out our product range so that we could just do that. And I'd really encourage you to go online and have a gander at how we do it, because I think it's pretty cool. But we knew that alone wasn't going to be enough. We needed to build relevance. We needed to find ways to make our customers' lives easier and better. And look, the thing about it is insurers tend to think in terms of cover and benefits and policies and stuff like that. But we knew that we needed to think differently. We needed to put ourselves in the shoes of our customers. You see, young families needed to know that if one of the kids fell off the swing in the park, that they didn't have to go through the drama of a visit to A&E. So we built VHI SwiftCare. Minor injury and illness clinics didn't exist in Ireland before SwiftCare came along. And that was a wow factor. Young women wanted to know that they could get a repeat prescription for the contraceptive pill without having to go through the hassle of going to the GP, taking time off work, talking to their boss, for God's sakes. So we partnered with Lloyd's Pharmacy, who were in the room today, and we enabled them to do it online, and that was another wow. Every single one of us who's ever spent a night in a hospital just to get IV antibiotics knows how desperately you just want to get home. So we built VHI Home Care, so you can get hospital treatments in your front room. It's another wow. Employers wanted their staff to be able to access screenings simply, easily, and conveniently. So we built the biggest workplace health screening program ever seen in the state. Wow. And the wows haven't actually stopped there. Can you imagine what it's like when you're a young couple and you're just starting out and you think the time is right to have kids and things aren't going to plan? You need help. You need somebody to help with the process. You need somebody to help with the cost. We've just introduced the biggest and most significant bundle of fertility benefits in the market. Actually, we launched it on last Saturday week with an article by Maya Dunphy in the Irish Times. So look, the big promise was getting bigger all the time. We knew that we had a new proposition, but the time was right now for us to have a new conversation with our customers about it. Guys, my experience is with customer insights is that sometimes when they're really, truly brilliant, once you've articulated them, they seem so bloody obvious that you'd wonder, are they actually insights at all? And I'm going to share one that's just like that with you. Irish people navigate healthcare through personal stories. If you ask me about St. James's Hospital, I won't hit you with facts and stats. I'll tell you how they treated my family over the last 3 years, because that's how we do it here. That's why I opened up my presentation to you this morning with the story of Sheila and her mum in Stillorgan. We decided we were going to rebuild our advertising platform around that insight. We decided that we didn't want to be just another company talking about ourselves, but we wanted to invite our customers to talk about themselves and what our business had meant in their lives. Effectively, what we actually did was we turned our problem into a solution. You see, our problem is that we were paying far more than our fair share of the claims, but the upside of that is we had far more than our fair share of the heartfelt stories as well. So we built a testimonials campaign. The thing about this is that it was more challenging than you might imagine because of another kind of glaringly obvious insight, which is that nobody likes to think about getting sick, and people are absolutely terrified of thinking about what would happen if somebody that they love gets sick. So we knew we had to tread carefully because we were going to tell real stories about real people and real illness. The first thing we did was to soften the message by using animation. Seems a pretty obvious thing to do, maybe. Animation by its nature can be as warm as light and as non-threatening as you want it to be. Animation is completely controllable. It's not governed by the laws of physics. If you want an autumn leaf to morph into a warming comfort blanket in an animated world, you can do that. Animation also gets you around the difficulty of putting a camera on ordinary people who aren't actually actors. But the second thing that we did, and really this is the theme of my entire presentation to you this morning, is we played the long game. We knew that stories about serious illness could be distressing for our audience, so we started gently and then we upped the ante. We effectively brought our audience on a journey with us. Our first testimonial ad told the story of Margaret, who effectively got deli belly on her honeymoon. It was unpleasant, it was serious, but it wasn't in any way threatening. And what we've done since then is we've gone up through the gears, through Crohn's disease, through kidney reflux, to today's campaign where we have Carmel, who's a breast cancer survivor, and Trevor, who had open heart surgery. And our audience came with us. They responded to the campaign day one, but they've come with us, and we're now getting the best awareness scores we've actually ever seen. And then what we did was we brought the wow factors into the campaign. So now we have Darren and Roz, who had brilliant experiences in Swift Care and home care, respectively. And then what we did was we brought our offers and our special promotions into the campaign. So now we had a single platform in which we had all of our messaging for our customers. And as we pulled all of that together, we refined and re-refined our execution style. We changed the animation, we changed our color palette, and we created this VHI world with woolly purple trees, with turquoise skies, with fluffy white clouds. And it's as if there's a different world for VHI customers, and it's a world where people get better and where they actually stay well. We completed our proposition by improving on digital. We introduced the first responsive site in our sector. We introduced Snap and Send claiming, if you think about it, that's another wow, not having to hassle of keeping all your receipts and all that awful stuff. We've also always been good at social media campaigning, but more recently we've started publishing on Facebook and LinkedIn, and we've built the most engaged with platforms actually in our sector. Last week we had 5.5 times more engagements than our nearest competitor. And just yesterday, we launched our first responsive self-service site and a digital membership card, so you got your membership details on that. So the story goes on. So was it worth it? About 3 years ago, it was reported that we were really going to have difficulty meeting the requirements to get authorised by the central bank. Actually, last year we were authorised. We increased our reserves to over 521 million, which is a big number if you think about it. And we raised additional capital through an agreement with none other than Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. We're a not-for-profit organisation, and we're really, really proud of that, but we're absolutely in favour of making a surplus every year. And we've returned the business to surplus for the last 4 years. Last year's number was 45 million. It's another big number. We've done this while we've been growing both revenue per customer and also willingness to recommend at the same time by more than 15% over the last 3 years. And we did all of this on the back of maintaining our ad awareness scores in the top 10% of campaigns in the state. We've increased the perception scores against 20-odd tracked attributes by 5% or more. And a couple of highlights would include relevant, plus 8%, trustworthy, plus 11%, value for money, plus 5%. Thanks a million for hearing our story. Look, I've used the word we absolutely intentionally as I've gone through the story of the last 5-6 years in VHI, because I'm actually here to represent my team rather than here as an individual. If you were actually down at the event last week, I recommended that we rebrand the award Marketers of the Year so that we could share it properly. I'm lucky that I work with a fantastic group of individuals. Some of them are sat right there, giving me the dagger's eyes right now. But they're, a fantastic group of individuals, and I think that we come together to form a brilliant team. And it's brilliant also that our agency partners from Publicis and PhD and B&A and Genesis, I think, are also in the room, because everybody has contributed to this story. It's absolutely not just about me. And when I'm talking about our team, I'm not even just talking about the guys in marketing and digital, but I'm actually talking about everybody in VHI who has their fingerprints all over this story. But the most important thing, guys, is I'm here today to represent our brand. I think it's an absolutely fantastic brand. I think it makes special things happen for our customers, and I really hope you do too. Thanks very much.